My mother, who was an actress in Australia, came on a ship from Sydney, and she was heading London to work in the theatre. And she stopped in Rome. With two Australian girlfriends, they decided to come to Castelgandolfo and see the Pope.
So off we trundled and caught a bus from Rome and came all the way up to Castelgandolfo and stopped on this hill. And down below we saw this glimmering lake. It was so beautiful for a hot summer's day. So my girlfriends and I looked at each other and said, well, maybe we'll see the Pope on another day. Let's go and have a swim.
And my father was swimming with two other friends. So they just met up and they fell in love, and she never got to the stage in London. They're still waiting for her, for this young Australian girl. Our history starts 137 years ago, and our family has been running the restaurant so far. So after my great-grandparents, our grandparents, and then ourselves together with our parents. So now we have the third and fourth generations. Our great-grandfather has been very smart to choose a location with a nice view. I think you can tell why they chose this place. So he had a good vision about it.
I miei bisnonni venivano da famiglia benestante.
My great-grandparents came from a wealthy family, and they invested in Castelgandolfo when there was still nothing. Firstly, they built their house, then afterwards they built the restaurant and the hotel. They had 3 children, a daughter and 2 sons. After they died, my grandmother inherited the restaurant, one brother got the hotel, and the other one opened another restaurant. The 3 of them gave life to this area. All the important families from Rome were coming here for the holidays since the end of the 1800s, and that is why the area is still called Largo Pagnanelli.
Mom and Dad had 4 sons. I'm one of them. So we have 4 brothers.
Well, the amazing thing is that each one is so very, very different. And I love them all exactly in the same way.
The first one, Marco, 2 years more than me, is the artist of the family.
Che collabora e ci aiuta.
He is the one that takes care of the look of the restaurant and that helps us to give an identity, which is very important because this is what people first see when they walk into the restaurant.
He has a very unusual personality, very sensitive, and as many artists, sometimes we have problems with him because Matteo, my brother, and myself, when we have to do something, we are quite well organized, mentally organized. Okay, we have to do this in 2 hours. Let's do it. And when we need to do something involving our brother Marco, he said, okay, I'll do it, I'll come, times go ahead, because he has his rhythm. So we have to respect his rhythm, and he comes there and takes the right decisions.
For the artist, it's not so simple, this life. So I love Marco because I think so I'm also an artist inside. And Marco is the only one that have wife or children.
Marco is the more intellectual member of the family and has a degree in architecture, but at the moment is very involved in his gardening and has taken a love of theatre. You know where he got that from.
I started doing gardening when I was about 15. But this garden, when I started planting, I was about 24. When I started planting all the shrubs and trees, it was very helpful to have the architecture background and know about houses and space.
Marco's office is also nestled in amongst the shrubs and trees of his beautiful garden. and he splits his time between the two.
And when I'm tired of work, I just go out the door and do some gardening.
In our menu we have some traditional recipes because we here since 137 years, like fettuccine alla papalina, fresh egg, prosciutto and parmesan cheese. We have trout on the leg with the breadcrumbs. And then we had the grilled lamb, which is a traditional meat in this area.
They also have new creative dishes on the menu, some of which are slightly unusual, like this sliced duck breast with strawberries and balsamic vinegar.
In the kitchen we have 10 people working. And they all have been with us for a long, long time. We're getting all together, which is good. They're part of the family in a way.
Perché abbiamo pure il pescato del giorno che
We've always been the ones to choose the recipes. So the menu has always been in our hands.
Aldo, the head chef, has been with Pagnanelli for over 20 years and works closely with Matteo and Gabby to create new dishes for the menu. Often, the recipe ideas start with the brothers and are interpreted by the kitchen, adding their own creative touches. The restaurant was taken over by Jane and Aurelio Mariani in the late 60s. It was fate that brought this Australian girl and Italian boy together. And ironically, it was Jane's Australianness that ensured that Pagnanelli's Italian legacy would continue.
When I was 12, I played a role in a play called The Innocents at the Independent Theatre. And from then on, I had this passion for theatre, and I was called up by the Elizabethan Theatre Trust, and they asked me to come and be part of the group. And so that's what I did, and we performed in various cities all over Australia, and I was the youngest, I think 18 I was. So at about 20, I thought it was time to spread my wings and try my luck in London. That's why I came to Europe. And so Rome was a little side trip, and my brilliant career gradually sort of faded into the background.
It was a hot summer, and she decided to go with her friends to Castelgandolfo to see the Pope.
Then they saw the lake, and my mother said, let's wait for the Pope. Let's go swimming. It's hot.
And this little motorboat went by with a couple of gods sort of reclining.
A motorboat with all these Italians waving to the girls.
Oh, goodness me, what good-looking boys. And they said, excuse me, signorino, can we take you and show you the area, show you the lake and show you Castelgandolfo? But the old lady in the pension where I was staying in Rome had warned us against the Italian boys and said, don't trust them, they'll want to take you into the woods. So we immediately said, oh, no, thank you very much. No, we're not interested.
They were going back to Rome by bus and walking up the hill, and Dad passed by with his sport car and said to them, where are you going? Oh, we're going to catch the bus. He said, no buses to Rome.
And so we said, oh, what are we going to do now? We can take you. So off we went to Rome and made an appointment for the following day to see them. And so there were three of us, and one of my girlfriends wasn't invited because there were only two boys involved. And so I said to my friend, well, you'll just have to go down and check at the corner to see if they're coming, because my girlfriend and I, we're not going to stand on the corner in our cocktail dresses unless we're absolutely sure they're coming. So down she went, and she came running up the stairs of the pension. They're there, but they're wearing Hawaiian shirts. There we were in our high heel shoes and cocktail dresses.
After a great summer
Then after a while, my father was running the restaurant with his two brothers, and they all agreed to split up.
Allora, uno ha aperto l'albergo.
When the three brothers split up, one decided to open a hotel above the restaurant, which is still running. Another one opened a souvenir shop across the road, as there were many tourists coming because of the Pope. My dad kept the restaurant, and it might look like he got lucky, but actually, when he started, there was a lot to do to make it look like what it is today.
Aurelio was a fabulous cook, but not a restaurateur. Before Jane's influence, Pagnanelli was a homely trattoria that catered mostly for the locals.
When Mom became part of the restaurant, she tried to go from little town mentality that was there, including Dad and his friends, which was very nice in a way. But it was a restaurant, so people came to eat and to be well served.
The restaurant wasn't working at a full potential. I could see further with it. Because I was Australian and I also enjoyed the idea of other Australians or people from anywhere else in the world coming to visit us. This is why I thought that there was more potential and more to be done, which we started doing from the very beginning.
And so she gave an extra gear to trying to do something creative, but being international, because you can be truly Italian, but being international.
We can't lose our Italian identity, because then nobody will want to come and visit us. I didn't have very much to do with the cooking except for making lemon meringue pies.
Jane's lemon meringue pies have become somewhat of a signature dish, requested and enjoyed by many international visitors. This typical Australian recipe places Jane's influence firmly in the Pagnanelli story.
Julio has always been a strong personality in the family since he was young.
Riesce a farsi volere bene da tutti.
And he can manage to make everybody loving him.
Ma altrettanto debole allo stesso tempo.
Julio, 15 years ago, decided to run his own restaurant, and we would have been happy that he had the decision to stay with us here. But then he decided to be on his own. So we'll be talking a lot with him. That was something really big. He did something really crazy and brave.
I left Pagnanelli 15 years ago. But not because I have some problem with them, because I need to stay alone. I have to find my identity. So when I leave, it was not so simple also for my family to accept this decision.
It was probably the saddest day of my life when he actually left. He just walked out. And that was it. Julio had gone.
We all understood that he really wanted to do it. And so we agreed that if he was going to be relaxed and happy doing his own business, we were with him. Okay, go.
And I started with the restaurant without kitchen, without license. This is crazy. But I organized some idea. In Tuesday, I decided to give a free lunch.
For 7 years, 60 to 80 people sat down at Julio's long table lunches. It was great publicity for his restaurant, but eventually became too large to sustain.
It was very social. You meet different people. The atmosphere was fantastic, yes.
Julio's big dreams have paid off. At first, the other restaurants and shop owners were wary of Julio's bombastic personality. But his warm and loving nature soon won them over. He set a standard, and everyone followed suit. Eventually, the Comune agreed to close the street purely for al fresco dining.
Sì, le spilettiamo noi e facciamo le porzioni.
Then there's Gabriele, who I always call him my old oak tree. When I'm really in need, Gab is the one who gives me strength. Not as madly creative as the other ones, but he's a real strength and a wonderful standby, and also very sporting.
To me, run around the lake, swim across it. It's healthy for your muscles, for your breathing, but especially it's healthy for your mind. So the benefits are for the whole body. You feel good. So when I go back to the restaurant after I've been running for 1 hour, I feel strong.
Quindi Gabriele forse tra i fratelli...
Gabriele is the strongest one, as he has thick skin during hard situations, and he gives strength to all the brothers.
A noi fratelli.
He gives the time for the work, time for the sport, and time for the family. And he's very equilibrated. That I'm not equilibrated, I'm very crazy.
I'll first show you the wine cellar. Here we're storing 35,000 bottles of wine from all over the world. The oldest is 55 years old. All the wines that you see standing down are aging. Some 20, some 30, 40, up to 50 years. And this is our point, to have this big investment on the wine, on this variety of wine, is to give the chance to everyone to sit down in the restaurant, open the list, and select the easiest, cheapest wine, 16, 18 euros, up to the 7,000 euros ones. And to let people have this chance to choose, we have to have all these wines. It's like a little bank, a wine bank. This is the tasting area, and when we had some famous people coming, we asked them to sign the bottles. This is Keanu Reeves, Robert Duvall. We had Sharon Stone last December. We had Robert De Niro, Nicolas Cage, Justin Timberlake, Bill Gates, Jane Fonda.
Matteo, I think so, one of the best family in the world. A perfect wife, wonderful daughters, this house of fiaba, maybe too much perfect. But Matteo also was a little bit crazy like me when he was more young. I'm still crazy. Matteo was crazy. I have more feeling with Matteo.
Matt is very keen on archaeology, so he has an eye for beautiful things, but he also treasures pieces. It's not casual, it's not just to collect. He treasures everything he finds, and he really is my little baby, and he gives me his love and affection all the time.
Matteo started collecting winemaking objects because of his interest in history. The wine cellar has become his museum.
When I buy something, I take the object and I feel something. They transmit something to me. People maybe sometimes think that you are crazy. Why do you buy the old shoes? But it's interesting to see how they are made with wood, iron. It's all made by hand. Now it's all easy. You go to the shop and buy something.
The museum at Pagnanelli has become quite an attraction, with Matteo's collection growing daily.
My father, I learned to be quiet and do what your wife wants.
My father is the best man in the world. I mean, he's such a good person.
I'm lucky to spend a lot of time with my parents. We get on very well together. And my dad is very different to Mum. He's quiet. He's a good mate. When I have a problem, he helps and gives advice.
When I was down in the restaurant, I don't understand how much my father loved me, because I want other things when I was young. Now that I leave the restaurant, now I understand everything. Yes. I understand how much my father loved me. It's a wonderful feeling with my father, wonderful.
He's always there for me for where I need him, but I'm the one that gets him moving. He's slow and gentle and used to a fairly calm existence. At the moment we're having a worry with illness, so once we're over that we'll be fine. Mm-hmm.
Aurelio is in hospital after an operation. His recovery is stable but slow. Today, the family are having an impromptu gathering. And the spare chair at the end of the table reminds them of Aurelio's absence.
Nonno, guarda Ptor come cresce bene.
They Skype Aurelio so he can feel part of the celebrations. Family gatherings like this are rare, as restaurant life doesn't allow much spare time. These days, the opportunities for young people to pursue their personal dreams are not out of reach. And to continue the legacy of their great-great-grandparents may not be what the young Pagnanelli children want to do.
With my sons, I've been talking a lot about the restaurant and being a restaurant a chance in their future, which is good luck in life to have already a chance there waiting for you if you want.
Gabriele's sons know that they have a choice, as do Matteo's girls. However, it is interesting to note that no matter how far the next generation travels, or what fabulous careers they obtain, a large percentage of them return to restaurant life. Maybe that's the thing about legacy. It's not leaving something for people. It's leaving something in people.